this going. All right. What's going on, YouTube? It is Will here, back again once again. And today, guys, I know I usually talk about football on my Gridiron Talk podcast, which if you're new here, I'll put the link down in the bio. But today, we have something very different. We have a special guest here who is a Division I basketball player. Why don't you go introduce yourself?
Ansley Almonor, forward for Fairleigh Dickinson University.
Yeah, right. Ansley, you guys are famous, obviously, for the massive upset in the NCAA tournament. You guys, you brought a very small school to a nationwide level. So that's very awesome. Congratulations to you. Made history.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And there's a lot of things that you guys did. Obviously, the second team ever to, 16-1, obviously. First team from the first four that was a 16 seed to ever win the first round game. So, again, history is being made here. So, me and Ansley have a mutual friend, John. Shout out, John. And I asked John, I was like, because he told me you guys are really tight. And I was like, oh, so would he be willing to do an interview? And then Ansley was obviously up for it. And if you guys know my background, I am a sports journalism future. That's what I want to do. So I really appreciate you, like I said, Ansley, doing this for me. It means a lot to me.
No problem, bro. Gotcha.
Yeah. So if you guys, we just got some questions here for Ansley. He's going to answer them. I'm going to it's just like an interview. And I also got some questions that people, because I told people that I was doing this, that I have from not randoms, but people I know that wanted to ask you stuff. So do you have any other questions before we start?
No, I'm good.
All right, yeah. So Ansley, my first question for you is, what made you want to become a basketball player, and when exactly did you start playing basketball?
Well, I started playing basketball when I was like 3-4 years old. And then as I started getting older, I fell in love with it. So the more I loved it, the more I realized this is what I want to do when I grow up. So it was just along the lines of me just growing up and loving the game. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And I know, what's your favorite basketball team?
I don't have a favorite team, but my favorite player is Jason Tatum.
Tatum. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if you liked the Knicks or the Nets or whatnot. That's cool though. Tatum's cool. What exactly made you commit to FDU? Because I know it's a pretty small college. I don't know if it's close to home or if you had some friends that went there. What exactly made you commit there?
I'm coming out of prep school. I didn't have too many looks and too many offers, but it was a small school, but that's basically all I could really get. It wasn't it was during COVID time, so there wasn't that many schools reaching out. People were staying and stuff like that. There was that many scholarships to give out, so I just took the offer they gave me and just wanted to make the best out of it.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. And it must be good because especially if you're from around the area, it makes you close to home too, and you're not going to California, or you're not going across the states. So it makes you somewhat close to home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So next up, so I saw your stats and I saw that your first year you came off the bench, but this year you made a big jump in your stats. You started to average 10 more points a game, a lot more rebounds. And I saw that you also won Northeast Conference Most Improved Player of the Year, which congratulations on that. That's a great accomplishment.
Thank you.
And you were also on the all-conference team. So my next question for you is, what exactly did you do to change your game to make this massive improvement?
Last offseason, I just took it way more seriously. I was in the gym every day, just working out way harder. Just going hard every single day with a purpose, just working, because the work is always gonna show off. I just kept myself in the gym, and it all paid off.
Yeah, right. That's awesome, man. Not a lot of people have that mentality. I know Kobe Bryant, he was the same way. First one to leave, first one to get there, last one to leave. And that mentality is special because a lot of people aren't like that. They're just really there for the 2 hours that it's there, and that's it. So I tip my hat to you. That's a hell of a mentality to have. Yeah, of course. So going into the NCAA tournament, you guys in the Northeast Conference, you were actually the second seed of your conference, and you guys lost your tournament final to Merrimack. But since they are, transferring from a D2 school, you guys got in because they're I guess banned from postseason play. So how did you and your team react to the narrative? I guess from the media or just commentators in general saying, well, you guys don't deserve to be here since you're a mid-major but didn't even win your tournament game. So how did you guys react to that?
Well, we just use it as motivation, especially going to that first game. People didn't think we deserved to be there. People thought that we didn't deserve our spot. So definitely going to the tournament, we played with a chip on our shoulder, showing we wanted to make sure that people knew that we were there for a reason, like we deserved to be there.
Mhm.
Like we're a good team, and that's what we went out there and did.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because like I said, like most people were writing you guys off. You were actually like of the 68 teams, the 68th ranked team of the field.
Yeah,
And I think you guys definitely proved that you deserve to be there. Not even with the Purdue win, like the Texas Southern win, you guys, beat them by like 20 points. And
yeah,
continuing about that, like that was your first NCAA tournament game. And you were, in my opinion, one of the best players on the court that game. You had 23 points, you had 8 rebounds. And like I said, you were not even like the best player like on your team on the court. So what was
yeah.
it like playing in your very first NCAA tournament game?
It was great. Like the atmosphere is just different. You see cameras, a big crowd. Like
Mhm,
it just felt great to be out there. You know,
mhm.
it was a surreal feeling. Surreal feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially because I know you said that, you've been playing since you're like 3 or 4, so you grow up and, you're watching all these players, I know, like you said, Jason Tatum from Duke, you probably watched him in the tournament, and, Steph Curry from, when he was on Davidson, like, you see all these
Yeah,
players, and now you're like, "Wow, I'm doing what they were doing," like, these people that I looked up to. So, I can understand why it's so surreal. That's must be an awesome feeling, and like I said, you didn't you dropped 23 points. I mean, you were, like I said, arguably the best player in that game, so again, shout out to you. That's a You had a great game.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So after you guys beat Texas Southern, Coach Tobin Anderson, he had a lot of people thought it would be an infamous speech. The more and more I watch Purdue, the more I think we can beat them. And a lot of people were the media, commentators like Skip Bayless or whatnot. People like him were saying like, "Oh, like what is this guy saying? There's no way they don't stand a chance." So, how did you or your team or whatever you feel more comfortable answering? How did you guys react to Tobin's famous speech about them?
He spoke for the team. Like we all felt the same way about them. We
Mhm,
knew what our strengths were. We knew what their strengths were. We knew we could go out there and beat them. We didn't really care what anybody else had to say. Like we went out
mhm.
there, we played for him, we played for each other, and we knew that we could take care of business. So it wasn't a surprise to us. It might have been a surprise to the country, but it wasn't a surprise to us. We knew what we could do.
That's awesome, because a lot of people like again thought there's no way. And then even if it wasn't Purdue, like to say that confidence, you have to have a lot of confidence in your team to say something like that. And it shows you that your coach has a lot of confidence in you and your team. He knew for a fact you guys could do it, and you guys did. You proved your coach right, and you proved the whole country that you could do it. So again, that's a great accomplishment and a great story. But he said that, and you delivered on the promise. So next, I know you guys are actually the smallest team in Division One, or maybe not all of D1, but I know for a fact the tournament average height's around 6'1", 6'2". And Purdue had Zach Edey, who's 7'4", the biggest player in Big Ten history, All-American, Big Ten Player of the Year. And you're our tallest player on your team, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, and you're like 6'7".
yeah.
Yeah, so you had the task of guarding Zach Edey. So how did you prepare for that, guarding a player of Zach Edey's skill and caliber?
Well, our coaches they do a great job at scouting other team, giving us a good game plan and stuff. Like we
Mhm,
watched a lot of film on them in between the 1 or 2 days we had in between. We watched film, talked about how we should attack it. Like it wasn't just me. It was
mhm,
a whole team effort. Like it was a team effort to stop him. He's a really good player, especially
mhm.
at that size. So I just try to do my job, try to get into his legs, make him a little uncomfortable. My teammates they help me, help swarm him, make him uncomfortable, and it worked.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that definitely probably was not an easy task for you, especially like for anybody. Like you're at like almost 10 inches shorter than him, pretty much, and that's just hard for anyone. And you did a pretty good job. I was actually watching the second half of the game, and I was telling everybody. I was texting John actually, and I was saying like, dude, like he's doing a great job at stopping Edie. Like I'm pretty sure Edie did not have a single shot attempt in like the last 10 or 12 minutes.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah, so I mean that just and not only just you, like you said, the whole swarming. Like I saw, like you guys would like triple team him, double team him every time he touched the ball. But obviously, like one on one, you were the one on him. So that just shows you that you and your whole team did a collective job at stopping him, which is unbelievable because all things considered, with the size advantage, it didn't seem possible. But again, you proved everybody wrong.
Yeah.
Um, right. So going on to the second round, obviously you guys, unfortunately, you lost to FAU. It was a close game. You guys only lost by 8, and you guys played pretty well. But despite losing to FAU, do you still view this season as a success or no?
Yeah, it was a success. Like people expected us to be last in the conference. Like they ain't expect us to go to March Madness. Like we proved a lot of people wrong. And when you got to March Madness, we proved a lot of people wrong then too. So I can say it was a success. We did a lot of things that
For
nobody's supposed to do. We made history. So it definitely is a success.
for sure. I mean, you guys won 2 tournament games, and a lot of teams can't say that. Like I know Duke, they only won 1, and you could say you had a better season than Duke theoretically. Yet you won more tournament games than them, and more teams that did not make a tournament. They're very prestigious, like North Carolina. Like they didn't even make the tournament. You guys went all the way to the second round. So I agree with you. I think you guys had a very successful season as a not only as a mid major, but just like as a small school. Like you guys had a great season. So my next question for you, more about your background in high school, because I know you played high school basketball in New Jersey. So you played high school basketball in New Jersey. So how did it feel to pull off one of the biggest college basketball upsets in history, repping New Jersey College?
It felt great. Like I know this area. I grew up around this area. Like I know how much this area loves basketball. So we just knew like back home everybody was supporting us. Like it feels good, especially when we come back. You see the whole community like they're congratulating us, people texting us, calling us and stuff. Like the governor here, so like just showing us love, like getting a whole bunch of interviews and stuff. It felt great. Like it really did.
I did not know that the governor of New Jersey reached out to you guys. What did he say or she say?
He gave us like a certificate. I forgot. It was some
Oh,
certificate he gave us. Yeah.
oh, that's cool. Yeah, you guys are getting some recognition, and maybe more I guess celebrities or politicians or whatnot will reach out to you guys because like I said, like this is history being made, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. I mean, it was done before, but think if it's only been done twice in the whole history of the tournament. So it's definitely history for
Yeah.
sure. So next question for you before I go into the question from the other people is when you guys saw that you were seeded 16, did UMBC's victory over Virginia in 2018 kind of like, remind you guys like, okay, we want to be like them, or did you guys kind of not even think about them?
Well, yeah, like you always think about that because like they proved that it could be done. Like it's not impossible for us to do, but we didn't really
Mhm.
think too much about them. We just try to focus on ourselves, focus on each game, each moment, capitalize each
Yeah,
game. So yeah.
no, 100%. That makes a lot of sense. So I got one more question for you, but I'm going to go into the questions from, like I said, people. So this is from Aiden. He said, how was the arrival of Coach Tobin Anderson impacted and raised a program from winning 4 games last year to winning 2 games and having a historic program defining win?
He changed like once he came in, he changed the culture. To be honest, like we knew it was gonna be a big difference from the way he just runs things on the court, off the court. Like the way everything is just ran a program, he just changed it completely. Like you could tell we'd be successful starting last summer, July. Just the work we put in, how hard we went, how much effort the coaches put in. Like it was just a complete, total turnaround when it comes to the coaching staff.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, I did not really hear of Tobin Anderson until this tournament, but I did see afterwards that he was a very successful like D2 coach.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he won many like a lot of tournaments or whatnot, like D2 basketball tournaments, but I know for a fact he was very successful in D2. And now, like I know this was his first and only year at FTU. And now he's at Iona, obviously, but no, it seems really like good that he 1 year he changed the program, and hopefully like FTU becomes a very like powerful mid major, kind of like Texas Southern, like they're a mid major that makes a tournament somewhat often.
Yeah.
Teams like that, like they make the tournament every year, and they always give a team a scare, stuff like that. Hopefully that can happen with FDU. So next up, we got a question from Joey. He said, "Is there a coach or athlete that you look up to as a role model, and why?" I know you said Jason Tatum. So if you want to talk about him, you can. But
Uh, yeah, I look up to like Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, and Cristiano Ronaldo, like
oh
those
yeah,
type of athletes, because I just see the work they put in. Like it's evident. Like they work so hard to get what they achieve. Like yeah, they're talented, but they really emphasize like work hard and you'll get what you want. Like I look up to those type of athletes, people that work hard, they get it out the mud and stuff like that. So those two are two athletes I really say I look up to and try to like when I'm working out and stuff, I try to mimic and stuff like that.
that's awesome. Because Cristiano Ronaldo, not a lot of people talk about his work ethic. I feel like that really gets when you talk about him, that's not really mentioned. So I really love that answer because he is if you talk about interviews with him, or just like some people watch him practice, like he's just like Kobe in the basketball court. He's the first one on the pitch and he's the last one to leave. And there's stories of him staying like 2 hours after practice, just shooting or dribbling and dribbling. And Kobe's the same way. So those are two great role models to have and not even in just the sport, but in life.
Yeah.
So next up, this is from Alan, and this is about the Purdue game. So what was the main defensive game plan to counter Purdue's size advantage?
We like watched their film. We seen their number, like their shooting numbers and stuff. We knew that their confidence wasn't as high as it was previously in the season. Like we knew if we just shut down Zach Edey, we didn't think that their other players could beat us. So we just tried to make their other players beat us, and they couldn't. So that's really what our game plan was, is just to try to slow down Zach Edey as much as we could and let the other four guys try to beat us, and we knew that wasn't going to work.
No, yeah, I agree. And especially when the game was getting close at the end, they tried to get him the ball. And I don't know if you followed him, but he went to the line, and he's not a very good free throw shooter. So you guys always had that too. Like if you can't stop him, just start fouling him, like hack a Shaq, And I know you guys, like you said, you left their shooters open, and I saw that you were leaving them open, and they couldn't punish you guys. They just couldn't make the open shots, and you were taking that risk of, like I said before, double teaming Edey, triple teaming him, and he would kick it out, and they couldn't capitalize on that. So that was a great game plan, and I think you guys handled that perfectly. So next, this is from Jose. He said, "Do you have a specific pregame ritual or a pregame ceremony that you do?"
Not really. I kiss my wrist for every game. I got my grandparents' name on my wrist.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or I kiss my wrist for every game. That's really I say a little prayer, but nothing too crazy.
Okay, yeah, because he said like he liked LeBron when he was on the Heat, when he would get the chalk and throw it up in the air. So he didn't know if it was something similar like that.
Nah, nothing like that.
All right, cool. And my last question from the other people, this is from Ryan, and he was like, "What was your favorite part about being in the NCAA tournament?"
Like the treatment we got was like is crazy. Like we took a charter plane out there. They had food for us, police escorts everywhere, stayed in nice hotels, and got a lot of gear and stuff. So it was a treatment that we got off the court. It was really nice. It's probably my favorite.
Cool. And I'm not gonna lie, I forgot where you guys are playing. Where did you guys play against Purdue?
Purdue, we played in Columbus.
Columbus, Ohio. Okay. So was that your first time in Columbus or no?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I've never been there. I've heard it's a pretty nice city. So that's awesome. You guys got to go to Columbus for, basically a little trip.
Yeah.
Because I know the first four is in Dayton. So you guys stayed in Ohio.
Yeah, exactly. Over there.
Yes. Yeah, so that's cool. That's awesome. So my last question for you, and this is about your future plans. Are you thinking of transferring, or are you going to stay at FDU? Because I know Tobin Anderson accepted the job at Iona after Pitino left there to go to St. John's. So are you going to follow his footsteps? Because I know you said you really like him as a coach, or are you going to probably stay at FDU for another year, or do you not know yet?
I don't know yet, to be honest. Right now I'm just here at FDU. I'm focused on FDU, but I haven't really made a decision on what I'm going to do going forward.
Yeah, that's a perfectly valid answer. You have, it's still March, so you have plenty of time to think about that. The transfer portal, I believe, just opened up, so you have plenty of time to think about that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, you have plenty of time to think about that. So yeah, that is all I have for you, Ansley. Thank you so much for doing this, for this interview. Do you have anything else you want to say before I wrap this all up?
No, I'm good. And thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, of course. I'll drop your socials. You want me to do that in the bio? I'll drop your Instagram. Yeah, I'll if you guys want to follow him on Instagram, I'll drop that in the link in the bio below. This will probably come out tomorrow. Maybe I'll upload this today because I want to edit it and stuff. So I want to make sure the sound's all good. But yeah, thank you so much for doing this. If like I said, I'll put his Instagram in the bio. Give him a follow. If you're new here, if you're watching me because of the interview, go check out my other content I have on here. I talk about football, mainly just football. This is actually the first time I've talked about basketball on my channel. But yeah, and if you guys want to see more content like this, me interviewing college basketball players or athletes in general, just let me know. Drop a comment down below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And thank you so much for watching, guys. And you guys have a great day.